There's this fight over whether movie studios should release films into people's homes. Netflix seems to be saying we're already showing movies in some cases in people's homes. We also want to be able to show them in the theater. Can there be a melding of the minds for everybody there down the road?
There's not going to be a choice. Look at what happened to the cable companies. They didn't want to play the game with the a la carte offering, and now they're losing millions of subscribers to Netflix, and people are basically doing their own a la carte offering, and now that's happening to the theaters. If you look at IMAX stock, which fortunately we exited before it declined, the movie theaters are in serious trouble right now. The actual behavior of consumers has completely changed now, and they're only going to tentpole films in the theaters, and that's starting to hurt business. So the theaters have no choice. If they're smart, they'll put Netflix movies in the same day that they go in online streaming, and they'll get with the program and try to add value through the experience. Because any way you look at it, if they don't put these movies in the theater, they're going to be better and better movies, and the only loser is the theaters.
Yeah, and that's going to make it a harder argument if they're, trying to avoid that happening for other movies. Anyway, Kevin, you're a longtime Netflix shareholder, right? What do you think about the quarter?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Great quarter. I think that it's a good example, though, that it's not any one quarter that makes a success. It's this relentlessness of growing their base and getting more and more resources, and this is a snowball that just keeps rolling.
Robert Luna, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tremendous quarter, Kelly. But if you look at the stock, it's been a magnificent performer. It's hard to underestimate that. But if you look at the last 16 months, the stock's pretty much doubled. For the stock to do that again, all this talk about original content, you got to remember another double puts this to a similar market cap as Walt Disney. This is not a Walt Disney. So if I was a shareholder, I think this is a great opportunity to exit the stock right here. There's just too many headwinds, in my opinion, for this valuation.
Well, why isn't it a Walt? Robert Luna, can't they build, amusement parks and, sell toy? Why can't this be Walt Disney?
They can, obviously, they can do all those things, but there's a lot of capital that's going to be required to do that. And I think unless Netflix is able to extend beyond its core offering, the current offering right now just doesn't justify the valuations. And Kelly, you had a previous guest who was saying, well, let the consumer choose. They can have Hulu, and they could have YouTube, and they could have Netflix because it's cheap. Well, you got to remember, a big part of the story for Netflix is international growth. And when you look at a country like India, which is expected to be the second largest digital consumer in the next 3 years, the average household annual income there is $1,500 a year. They're already way priced above Amazon Prime, and they're just not going to win in markets like that.
John?
Oh, my God.
Kevin Landis, in a way, the easy decision to make is the binary yes Netflix or no Netflix if you're an investor. I'm wondering your take on the ecosystem we should expect to develop around Netflix. I mean, it's one thing if you were correctly able to surmise that Android would be big, but the real benefit was the investor who figured out that Samsung was going to get most of the profit out of Android. So if we assume that Netflix is going to be a big winner in the video on demand space, who else should we expect to succeed?
Well, there's an IPO coming and a company we've invested in. It's called Roku. It's a Netflix spinout, and they stream more than anybody else. And the Roku search engine is better than the Google search engine if you're trying to find programming. So that's one way to go. I could go all day with all the companies that are out of position with this migration towards cord shaving and all that. There are very few companies that are lined up as well as Roku and Netflix.
That's an interesting point.
Well,
Ross, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, this is great for content creators like Disney, Lionsgate. What's happening in Hollywood right now is it's like the gold rush that we've never seen with all the people wanting to make content. You've got the outside players like Facebook and Apple desperate, and then you got the inside players like Netflix and CBS who are doing great shows, and HBO. So if you're making content and you're making good content, you're going to be able to charge more and more, and you're in great shape. And I really think the people who are looking at Disney only based off ESPN are missing the huge thing about Disney, which is the children's content is what's driving Netflix's future. And the last point I want to make is there's 1 billion people in India, and right now only a few million have Netflix. So if you think that Netflix is even close to the surface of being done growing, you got to travel more, because this world is vast and huge.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.